wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the funniest times Sacred Heart's resident Savage didn't mince his words while sharing his thoughts and feelings.
And of course, Hugh Jackman.
Number 10, a devoted residency director. If we were ever to visit a hospital, we hope to encounter compassionate staff dedicated to our well-being. But enter Dr. Perry Cox, a character with layers.
I'm sure you're wondering why I accepted the position of residency director, considering my disdain for, well, all of you.
While he may not always wear his heart on his sleeve, his passion for his work is undeniable. However, when he takes on the role of residency director, he bluntly reveals his priorities in a candid monologue.
It's all about the $4, trust me. And seems as my money is contingent on you lemmings actually doing your jobs, I would say that now is a pretty good time for you to scurry on back to work.
For him, it's all about the extra dough rolling in. If you somehow missed his disdain for his colleagues before now, this rant makes it crystal clear. And that unsettling chuckle at the end, well, it's enough to send anyone rushing straight back to work.
Go!
Number 9, new chief resident. Molly convinces Elliot to apply for chief resident, turning the one-horse contest into a dramatic face-off with JD. Dr. Cox initially awards the role to Elliot, sending JD into a frenzy.
Why do you hate me when I show you nothing but love? Who's gonna tell my mom? And what the hell am I supposed to do with 10,000 John Dorian chief resident business cards?
However, in a surprising turn, he reveals that he's assigning the role to both of them. He explains why he sees them as a great team, albeit delivering the message in his trademark sarcastic style.
Well, I figure with her being ridiculously book smart to the point where she has almost no interpersonal skills, and you being warm and cuddly as an unpotty-trained labradoodle and about as useful in high-stress medical situations as an unpotty-trained labradoodle.
Despite the string of backhanded compliments, it's still a win. Comparing them to labradoodles might have been an odd choice, but in Cox's peculiar way, it's a compliment. And also, who doesn't love a labradoodle? They're adorable.
Together, the two of you make one barely passable doctor. / labradoodle.
Number 8, the nature of people. How does the saying go? People are like a box of chocolates?
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
Well, Dr. Molly Clock seems to think so. Things heat up when she finds herself at odds with Chief of Medicine Dr. Kelso, sparking a clash of beliefs with Dr. Cox.
Underneath it all, I bet he's a sweetheart.
No, underneath it all, he is pure evil.
Perry, no one's pure evil. I mean, yes, some people have a hard outer shell, but inside, everybody has a creamy center.
Molly believes that even the toughest exteriors can hide a softer side. But Cox, he sees the world through a different lens.
Lady, people aren't chocolates. Do you know what they are mostly? Coated with filling.
To him, whatever makes up Molly's core isn't to his liking, like when you bite into a chocolate only to grimace and toss it aside. Funnier still is that Molly isn't even slightly swayed by his tough guy act, leaving him seething.
Oh, I am so very angry that I'm going to find someone to kill just to prove her wrong.
Number 7, many ways to say no. Dr. Cox isn't known for sugarcoating his words, yet we have to give him credit for always relaying his message in inventive, albeit savage ways.
It's my boss, dude.
You know what a boss is. For you, that would be the 17-year-old that tells you to clean out the grease trap after you've filled all the ketchups.
My ribs.
For instance, when JD requests his brother Dan be allowed to shadow them for a day, Dr. Cox's response is nothing short of classic. If you've ever wanted a more creative way to decline, Dr. Cox provides some entertaining options.
There are just so very many ways for me to say this to you. Never, not in a million years, absolutely not. No way, Jose, no chance, Lance, yet, negatory, nah,
Like him, we're also fans of the man falling off of a cliff variation.
No!
Oh, Dr. Cox?
In a hilarious twist, however, he changes his mind when he realizes he's given JD the answer he wants. Professionalism be damned when you can mess with your overly attached colleague instead.
Thank you.
Hold the phone. You don't want him to come with us?
No. Poof. Dan?
Come.
Number 6. The day they were passing out common sense. We're used to Dr. Cox's sharp wit, but it gets even funnier when he fully commits, delivering brutally honest tirades with passion and flair.
Listen closely, tiny dancer. I wouldn't be flapping my mouth if I'd forgotten to get a blood culture on Mr. Blair. And for the love of God, do you at least remember what you were doing the day they were passing out common sense?
On this occasion, JD unwittingly finds himself in the doctor's crosshairs, facing the full force of his wrath. With animated intensity, Dr. Cox not only criticizes JD's competence, but also spins elaborate scenarios that might explain JD's apparent lack of common sense.
Maybe you're busy bopping along to whatever boy band really makes your heart race nowadays, and you just drove on by. Of course, I don't know, I'm just guessing. But one thing's sure shooting. You wound up at the Dum-Dum store.
What makes this moment truly shine is the masterful portrayal by John C. McGinley, capturing the essence of Dr. Cox's unique mix of bluntness and humor. The hilarity continues when JD channels his reluctant mentor to fire back.
Look, Doctor. If you flip the page on that chart, you'd see that I pan-cultured him yesterday. But that would probably get in the way of the perverse pleasure you take in pointing out other people's slip-ups. Well, too bad, Buster Brown, because I'm a resident now.
Number 5. How could JD be less productive? JD hits a wall while mentoring a new inept intern. While he's deep in thought, he's interrupted by Dr. Cox, who launches into a spirited rant, likening JD to the wall he's leaning on.
The only way you could be less productive right now is if you were, in fact, the wall on which you're leaning against. Of course, then you'd be providing some jackass with a wall on which to lean against and reflect on what a jackass he truly is.
With his characteristic wit, Dr. Cox humorously critiques JD's productivity and adds his signature touch by addressing him by a girl's name. The humor peaks when he instructs JD to skip back to work and doesn't mean it figuratively.
You could at least pretend to be doing some work, and right about now, even though you don't have your basket, oh, it's just a terrific time for you to skip away, Shirley. Skip away. Skip away.
Watching JD follow orders is hilarious, but this interaction also becomes a valuable lesson for him. He grasps the unconventional wisdom in Dr. Cox's approach and applies it to his own challenges.
Newbie, wait.
Newbie?
Shut up. Look, Josh, you're the only one who knows whether you want to be a doctor or not. But right now I kind of got my hands full, okay? So what do you say you put some gloves on, Shirley, and get the hell in here?
Number 4. Perry's perspective. By the 3rd season, JD has figured out that Dr. Cox's monologues can be used as opportunities to be productive.
I wouldn't know the exact number of days unless I consulted my Friends for Life calendar that I keep taped inside my hope chest. Still,
I've learned to make Dr. Cox's rants work for me. I catch up on paperwork, I look after patients.
However, he makes the mistake of believing there's a limit to how many speeches Perry is willing to give in a day. So, when JD asks for a recommendation letter without being called a girl's name, he unwittingly triggers round 2.
look, Janice, Denise, Tiffany, Amber, Thiessen. Let me go ahead and share a little something special with you that I like to call Perry's perspective.
Starting with a string of female names, Dr. Cox offers Perry's perspective. It's filled with some valid truths, but mostly just a tidal wave of cynicism. With its sharp wit, it's undeniably funny and serves as another reminder of the humor we all enjoy.
3, and most importantly of all, the only way to be respected as a doctor, nay, respected as a man, is to be an island. You are born alone, you damn sure die alone. Isn't that right, Spike?
Number 3. A strange place to find Captain Kangaroo. Dr. Cox and Dr. Kelso couldn't be more different, and their contrasting opinions on patient care create a chaotic situation for the residents caught in the middle. When Elliot tries to clear up their conflicting orders, Cox swiftly cuts her off with one of his trademark rants.
I don't ever want to hear anything that's come out of that man's mouth, unless, of course, it's, oh my God, I'm dying, now I'm moving towards the light, but wait a minute, there's been a mistake. This is hell.
He vividly imagines his boss in hell meeting its residents, including one particularly unexpected one, and ends with a clever jab at Elliot.
My boyfriend is a dolphin trainer.
I hear that's a shame, because the whole dolphin thing used to make you so interesting. Too bad.
Cox's ability to humorously and sharply criticize is unmatched, and he really knows how to paint a picture with words, doesn't he? But the real question remains, what's his issue with Captain Kangaroo?
Hello, Hitler. Hello, Mussolini. Captain Kangaroo. That's weird.
Number 2. The Rant Song. In this episode, a woman named Patty experiences a unique condition. She hears everything in song. So we hear Dr. Cox's signature monologue in a style similar to Major General's song from the Pirates of Penzance.
I am the very model of a modern Major General, life information, vegetable, animal, and mineral.
Crafted by the talented duo of writer Deborah Fordham and composer Jan Stevens, this musical masterpiece perfectly captures Cox's fiery personality.
Should I list the reasons why? Well, I don't see why not. It's your hair, your nose, your chinless face. You always need a hug, not to mention all the manly appletinis that you chug.
It's vibrant, witty, and sharply conveys his frustration with JD. This glimpse of Dr. Cox's musical side is not just hilarious, it's downright brilliant.
So now that is why I call you names like Carol, Jane, and Sue, like Moesha, Kim, and Lillian, Suzanne, and Betty Lou. See, regardless of the names I pick, my feelings are quite clear. You're a pain in every day of every month of every year.
The way the song mirrors his tempestuous emotions is pure genius, seamlessly blending humor and creativity. This scene doesn't just talk, it sings, leaving a lasting impression with every note.
Or I swear to God I'll shut it soon.
Congratulations. We'll schedule your test this afternoon.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. And Hugh Jackman. JD zealously approaches Dr. Cox to commemorate his last week as a resident, but turns out Dr. Cox doesn't quite share his excitement.
I suppose I could riff a list of things that I care as little about as our last week together. Let me see. Low-carb diets, Michael Moore, the Republican National Convention.
Instead, he responds with a humorous tirade, listing all the things he cares less about than this moment. With each addition to his list, the doctor's disinterest escalates, leaving no doubt that there's perhaps nothing in the universe, known or unknown, that he cares about less than JD's last week.
Every talk show host, everything on the planet, everything in the solar system, everything that exists. Past, present, and future in all discovered and undiscovered dimensions.
But what does he have against Hugh Jackman?
And Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. How dare he?
This iconic rant is referenced again on JD's last day at Sacred Heart in a hilarious and brilliant throwback. But seriously, what's with all the Hugh Jackman shade?
And of course,
Hugh Jackman.
Share the rant that amuses you more than Dr. Cox dislikes Hugh Jackman in the comments.
Did I list the reasons why? Well, I don't see why not.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.